Hey guys, looks like it's beer 30. Let's go see what's in the fridge today.
Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Today's beer comes from St. Arnold Brewing. They're out of Houston, Texas. This is their Endeavour. Uh, First of all, I want to apologize to Brandon. He sent this to me a couple of months ago and it got shoved back into the back of the refrigerator behind some stouts and I did not find it. And he asked me, he said, have you done that review yet? And I'm going, let me go look. And I found it shoved in the back. So Brandon, I am so sorry that I didn't get to it. It's a double, but I still should have got to it before now, guys, and I apologize to Brandon for that. So I told him I was going to review it ASAP. Uh, St. Arnold does some excellent beers, guys. They really, really do. This is a big bottle, 22 ouncer. So the other half gets to get a glass of this too. Uh, and right off the bat, I'm going to tell you guys, it says 9% on the label on there. And they do have a date on the side here in yellow. This was actually done on 08, 09, 16, 8, 9, 10, 11. This beer is 3 months old, a little over 3 months old. And that's unacceptable, so that's why I apologize to Brandon. I should not keep these IPAs or double IPAs that long. And I'm trying to get all of those out of the fridge. I said that the other day on the beer review. Some of these have either been pushed back or they're stuck in front of them. The refrigerator's so full, and then I neglect to get to them in a timely manner, and it's my fault, it's my problem, and I'm sorry. So I'm going to try to get all of these IPAs and double IPAs and ambers and low ABV beers out and get them reviewed because Brandon and Kayvon and Greg and Rico and the beer companies that are sending me beers, and I put them in the fridge and then I put some in front of it and everything gets pushed back unless I go to looking and try to rotate the stock. Sometimes they get neglected and they get past its prime or the end of its prime, and it's my fault. It is my fault. So we're going to try to correct that. And another thing right off the bat, 9% it's got on the label in all three sites. Untapped, Beer Advocate, and Rate Beer are saying it's an 8.9. So evidently the recipe's changed on this year's edition. And on top of that, when I went to Beer Advocate, they said it had an alias, and they're saying it is St. Arnold's Divine Reserve number 11. Not sure that's correct. It does not have that on there, and I remember doing their Divine Reserve number 11. And that was several years ago. So, not sure that's correct information. I already know that the ABV is wrong on all three sites. So, it is what it is. IBUs, they say on the 8.9 is 76. So, I don't know how close that is on the 9%er. It should be fairly close, but you can't always go by that, depending on what recipe they use and the bitterness of the hop bitterness that they've used or the type of hops, all that could change a little bit. So we take all this with a grain of salt. Says here the color is a deep amber with a light creamy head. The nose starts off with a touch of citrus, but then turns decidedly into peaches. The taste starts off with creamy malt, resulting from the pale two-row and caramel malts and St. Arnold's yeast. The hop bitter starts slow, then builds to a crescendo, but always maintains a balance even to its big finish. The hop flavor continues to be peaches, an interesting manifestation of Columbus, Simcoe, and Centennial hops. I'm not sure that's the same hops they've used on this one. This is the first Divine Reserve, which this is not. That's why I'm reading this right off the ones that said it had an A-list of the Divine Reserve 11. It says this is the first Divine Reserve that we have filtered. The decision was made to make the hop flavors brighter. Plus, it would be bottling nightmare with all the hot bits in it. This beer is best enjoyed at 45 or even a little warmer. Though the recipe and style in case this beer to be enjoyed fresh, respect to beer developed interesting over the years. So maybe it's not a bad thing. Over the years or so, you can sell this. It's a double or imperial IPA. I don't agree with that. I absolutely don't agree with that. The alcohol is going to keep it, yeah, but the hops are going to fade, dudes. So I wouldn't want to cellar this unless you just don't want a big hoppy flavor and you want a big malty mess. So not a fan of cellaring IPAs or double IPAs. So just depends on what you're after in your beer. If you don't like that big up front, up in your face hop presence, by all means cellar it, and that will fade over time, and you'll probably have a lot of coagulation and floaties and chunks in the bottom of your beer. So that's all we're going to say about that. And like I said, not sure. This is actually an alias of Divine Reserve number 11, when they've already got like number 15 or I think 16 we just did. So that would be a long time ago. So not sure this information from these sites are correct, especially when they got the wrong ABV on all three sites. So sometimes you get into that. Sometimes everybody's correct and got all the right information. Sometimes nobody's got it right. So let me get the cap off of this bad boy and get it into the glass. While I do that, cuisine is barbecue. The cheese is big time hiss. The cheese is peppery, Monterey, pepper jack, sharp blue cheddar. Your more pungent cheeses, gorgonzola, Limburger. The meat on this is grilled meat and salmon. Glassware is snifter tulip oversized wine glass. Got my favorite snifter. And here it says it can be cellared because it's 9%. But I don't know if I'd go along with that too much. It all depends on what you want in your beer. I like to drink them fresh. And I apologize once again for Brandon for keeping this a little longer than I should have. Finger of head on that pour. It is kind of cloudy in the big bulb part. I can't see the light through the thin part down here. I don't see it having a big bunch of chunkiness in there, so it hadn't coagulated too bad. Let's get a nose on it. It does have a big maltiness to it, though. Definitely not a West Coast style double IPA. To me, at this stage, I am getting more of a floral herbal hop and big malty notes. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Brandon. Yeah. It's a little more maltier than I think it should be. Probably should have done this in, it was done in August. So September, I got a feeling the hops would have been a lot more potent than what they are now in November. But for a 9%er, the alcohol is very well hidden, leaving some awesome lacing on the glass. It was a tasty beer, though. I just think the hop presence would have been a little more substantial 2 months ago than it is right now. So, my fault. It is my fault. And I'm not going to be too critical on this beer since it is my fault. It is a tasty beer. So it's right out of the fridge. Let's let it warm up and pour her a glass. Sip on it for a while. And like I said, I'm not going to be too critical because I had it in my head of my butt and let this sit in there just a little bit too long. So, and I've always been impressed with what St. Arnold's does. So, let me sip on it for a while. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little left here. A tasty beer, guys. I've kept it just a little longer than I should have, and I'm not going to knock any points off because I had my head up my ass, not these guys. Everything that I've had from St. Arnold and everything that's been sent to me from them has been pretty tasty beers. And this is a tasty beer. I just got a feeling that I've kept it just a tad too long. And I'm not going to knock any points off for that. I do think it's a well-made beer. Bottled on date on the side of it. Got the ABV written on the label. Guys, I think it's an A beer. And I'm gonna probably give it that score. So, final chug. I don't agree with rate beer. I don't think this is an alias for their Divine Reserve number 11. If I remember correctly, I had the Divine Reserve number 11 when I was in Florida 2 years ago. So I don't think this is an alias for that beer, and they've got the wrong picture on top of that. And where Beer Advocate and Untapped has the correct picture of this beer. So I'm gonna give you the ratings, but I don't think the information they have on rate beer is correct. I don't, and I've told you, all three of them have the wrong ABV written on there. So for me, guys, I'm gonna give it the A minus. I'm gonna give it the 90. That's where I'm gonna give it, and it would probably got a better grade if I'd freaking reviewed it 2 months ago when Brandon sent it to me. So once again, Brandon, I am so sorry that it got pushed back, and I'm just now reviewing it. Shit happens, man. I'm sorry. Over to Beer Advocate, they say 92, outstanding. And for the misinformation that I think Rate Beer's got, they say overall 97, 87 in the style. And we'll go over to Untapped. And like I said, they have it at 8.9, which is a 9%er, and 76 IBUs. They've got the right picture. So I don't know if they've actually done this beer before with this label on it, because they've got the right picture. They've actually got two. They've got a picture of the bottle, which is what I'm seeing here, and they've got a picture of a can version of it. So evidently they're doing it in a can now too. So decent beer. I'm just sad that I let it sit and didn't get to it before now. So once again, Brandon, so sorry, sir. I'm gonna go through and get all of these out. And I said this a couple of days ago on one of the reviews that I'm trying to get to all these IPAs and double IPAs and ambers and the lower ABV beers, and I need to do that. I need to get those out of here before they come to this stage where the beer has been sitting in the bottle for 3 to 4 months, and it's not their fault that it's more malty now than it should have been when it was put in the bottle. So my fault. Now I'm not cutting them any grade points on it for this because it's my fault. I do think this is a well-made beer, and like I said, I don't know how often they do this particular version of the beer. So maybe down the road I'll get another one of these and we'll do it fresh and see where it ends up. But it's a very tasty beer, guys. The alcohol is very well hidden. It's a very well made beer. So we're going to leave it at that. If you've had this one from St. Arnold, this is their Endeavour Double IPA or Imperial IPA. Let me know what you think, guys. And come on back tomorrow. Let's take something out of the fridge. See you then.